after our live stream and make it a actual YouTube video.
Okay. So you were saying that you were going to try to edit it like during?
No. So what you can do on YouTube, you can edit it right after we're done like streaming, basically.
Got it. Okay.
And
That makes sense.
yeah, it's just kind of a pain, and I just have a lot of exams and shit. So I'm gonna try to get it done, if not tomorrow morning. I just figure everyone's been telling me every time I ask for like suggestions on what to do, the first thing I'm getting is just make it a YouTube video, and it'll be like people are like it'll be 5 times easier to watch or whatever.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
And I also think the algorithm or whatever doesn't work on live. I don't know. Maybe not as well. Who knows? All right, you ready to get started? I'm ready.
Yep.
All right, let me get comments pulled up on this side of my screen, and then I'm ready. Sweet. All right, volume looks good on my end, as long as. So.
Oh yeah, you want me to do a quick sound check?
Yeah, just see how it sounds. We're not in any rush right now. All right, you ready? We sound good?
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome, Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing well, Chris. This is the 3rd episode in a row that we have to start out the show with NBA. Well, I guess not
Third?
third real one. No,
Oh,
second real one. The first one, I just wanted to start off the show. I guess I got my wish. For all listeners out there, like I manifested all these trades happening basically. It's the Tuesday before the Dame trade, I was like, let's talk about something else, and here we are talking about multiple different stories. Of course, we'll get to the NFL, a lot to cover. That'll be the main focus of the podcast, so no need to worry if you're here for that. But to start off, my Boston Celtics, they never stop. The NBA never stops, and neither do the Boston Celtics. They always seem to be trading someone, always seem to be trying to improve their team. And this time around, they are going and getting Drew Holiday from the Portland Trail Blazers. They are sending Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and 2 first-round draft picks, and also 2 swaps. Not bad of a trade.
Feels like kind of a lot, no?
I feel like it's kind of a lot, but you're getting you now like if you're the Celtics, which I of course am, everyone knows. you're looking at Damian Lillard now on the Bucks, and yeah, you are giving up Robert Williams, someone to help you on Giannis Antetokounmpo, but between Robert Williams and Brogdon, those 2 guys are never healthy. They're never on the court. Especially when you need them. So to be able to get a guy like
Williams
Holiday
was 2 years ago, wasn't he?
His
the Warriors series?
His game log. He made it to the finals that year, but his game log is really, really poor. It's like 30 games a year practically. I'm looking it up right now, but it's not great. and
Mhm.
he like it just every time he landed wrong, every time there was a lob dunk, I was just worried that we were gonna lose him for the next month. So almost like as much as I love the player and the asset, the the nervousness of his health now being
Yeah, that's fair.
and having him, it would have been him, Porzingis, and Horford. We're now at just Porzingis and Horford, which still has the same problem, but those three guys are not the healthiest fellas. So
Mhm.
relying on him was, I think, this was a necessary move. I came into the offseason saying this changes needed to happen for the Celtics. We couldn't just run it back. They definitely did that. They've changed Marcus Smart, Brogdon, Williams, and Grant Williams gone in Drew Holiday and Porzingis. I think it's a dub. I mean, I think it all depends still on Porzingis. Like this team is kind of buns if Porzingis is buns, which really scares me. But and I guess not buns. The team's definitely not
Not
buns if Porzingis.
necessarily.
Yeah. But I'm saying like
Like,
championship
he could
aspirations.
underperform.
Championship
Right, yeah.
aspirations ride on Porzingis being really good on the defensive side. Because now he's the one lining up against, he's the one lining up against Embiid and Giannis. And we have Horford, but Horford's
Don't
like
love that.
37 years old, right? So it's going to be tricky to find out which guy is going to make that second big man role. I guess third big man role on the Celtics.
Yeah,
roster.
I mean, they could go get another one.
Yeah,
Go
there's
get a guy who doesn't cost a lot because he's not an offensive threat at all.
Yeah,
Just fill
exactly.
that gap. Because like
Yep.
Porzingis is, with his size, he's capable on defense. Like he's a good shot blocker, but
he's 7 foot. He's like 7'2".
Right? Yeah, he's just
Porzingis. Yeah, he's just Porzingis.
he's just Porzingis, right?
That I'm glad you brought up that word though, soft, real quick, because a lot of the issue with the Marcus Smart Porzingis trade was that you're getting rid of Marcus Smart, the heart and soul, yada yada yada, the leadership, and I think Drew Holiday not only is better, is like he's a better player. He's maybe not as in tune to these players as Marcus Smart was because Marcus Smart grew up with these players basically. But Drew Holiday, he just takes this role immediately. He takes a Marcus Smart role perfectly, and you throw him at Dame in the playoff series. I mean, it's Tatum, Brown, probably Porzingis, and then Holiday. So I'm really not worried about his scoring either. So when he dips in the playoffs and he's not as needed as much, we're just going to need him for, like the Kyle Lowry, the nasty buckets. That's what we need him for. And I think he's a perfect player to add to this team.
Yeah, and he needs to be just like a capable point guard, which is what you thought Brogdon was going to be. Like that's why you made that move. It was like the Celtics don't have a real point guard. Like you have Smart out there, but he's not like what you think of when you think of the prototypical point guard. Holiday or Brogdon was, and it just fell apart. And I guess that relationship was not repairable. Plus, I'm sure they like Holiday a lot better.
Yeah,
he also gives you that.
Brogdon is
a long-winded point there.
I 100% agree. I think this is I mean, since Isaiah Thomas, I saw a tweet today. The Celtics have had 14 starting point guards, which is pretty insane. And Brogdon coming in last year, I was excited for him. I mean, he had a good year. He was sixth man of the year. He got injured in the playoffs, and when he came back, probably just shouldn't have been playing because he was not good. He was injured still and just not good. And then ever since that not fake trade, but proposed trade came out and was released to the public.
Yeah. He's out the door.
Yeah, he was gone. And I just didn't see, how is he coming in today on media day in a Celtics uniform, smiling in front of the cameras, excited for next season, when he was in LA for 4 hours?
Yeah.
He's going to get a new home. There's no way he's staying on the Blazers. They assigned him number 92. I was like, you might as well assign him a draft pick. Like, you might as well call it, your number is actually a 4th round draft pick or 2nd round draft pick.
2027.
Yeah, exactly. 2027 is your number. And then they gave up 2 picks that
When do you think that cycle's going to end? Like, when do you think they're going to stop flipping guys?
The Portland cycle?
Yeah.
Well,
you get Holiday,
it's funny because
Brogdon.
I heard
With him or
too.
Brogdon,
They're
if he
like
gets flipped.
they're like, oh, they could flip Robert Williams too. I was like, first of all, they might want to keep him. He's 25, and second
Yeah.
of all, kind of genius if they flip him too. Just get it.
Yeah.
Just get everyone. Just get every pick.
Never ends.
Yeah. I love
that's actually 2K.
They are playing
Yeah,
2K.
I don't really like this.
They literally are. And it's funny because the Celtics, this offseason, is kind of been like a 2K type offseason. Like the Celtics were like, we have good pieces, but let's just flip them. Like, let's flip 4 of our pieces for 2 better pieces and be really
Right.
top heavy, have no depth, and we'll win the championship on 2K because I turned injuries off. That's basically what they did. I'm waiting for the Dwight
that always
Howard
works.
signing for the Celtics. I don't know. I kind of want it too. Let me
Hasn't
like,
he been in China?
yeah, let's get it.
Like,
Taiwan.
Houston?
Taiwan. He's been going off in
Taiwan.
Taiwan. Let's get him on the bench. Talk about a guy that you just throw out and beat, like regular season game. Let's throw him on and beat
Yeah.
for 15 minutes. Like, let's just
piss him off.
literally just piss off and beat. Yeah. So I would love just like literally any vet that could be a center off the bench, and I think they will. Brad Stevens is a smart GM. He's really playing this well, and so is Portland. I think this is a great trade for Portland as well. They just get more and more assets, which that's all they should be worried about. Is accumulating assets and making sure that the starter is Scoot Henderson.
I do like that point about Robert Williams being 25. Like, that's a good fit for him. It's like when Jalen Smith went from the Suns to Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, you take him out
Yeah,
of
he's-
a high
yep.
pressure situation. It's like, okay, well, now you can actually kind of play free.
Yeah, well, and
As
this
a
is
young
this is
guy.
good for Robert Williams too, because he's not reliant like, hey, Robert Williams, we need you out there to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Like that, he must have had a lot of
Like, we
pressure
just
on
wanna
his.
see you develop.
Yeah, he must have had a lot of pressure on his health, and that might have affected some of his play. I mean, he was a really good player, so I don't think that affected his play very much. But that must have been in his head all the time. Like, I need to get healthy. I need to get healthy. They need to win the championship with me in there. But now he can just relax a little bit, get some stats, stuff like that. The one thing I want to go before we go is, and we should have mentioned it in the Drew trade, is the Blazers, the one thing they messed up on this whole offseason is why the hell are you giving Jeremy Grant $100 million?
Yeah, that's
It doesn't make
they'd
any
be a
sense.
blueprint team.
No, I know, and
That
they
makes sense.
and they did it, I guess, to try to keep Dame for that one time, and then once that whole thing soured, it was just
Yeah,
worthless.
flip his ass too.
Oh, no, they will. He's gonna get flipped. There's gonna be some stupid team that's like, oh, we can make him an all-star.
Yeah, the Sixers maybe.
Probably. The Sixers are
Send Harden
doomed.
to Portland and flip him.
He's the next step.
That's
Brogdon's
some
going to the
crazy
Sixers.
flippage.
Yeah, if Brogdon's going
Yeah.
to the Clipper or going to the Sixers, and Portland's gonna be stuck with Harden. Have you seen the Harden stuff? He was not in practice today, but they basically fined
But he's
him,
just
and he was
done.
like, "Oh, I'll be in practice tomorrow. Don't worry."
Well, isn't there's also like some weird clause in his contract, right?
Yeah, that he will not be a free agent if he doesn't play the season.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's actually not allowed to sign any basketball contract, not just NBA.
Yeah.
Basketball contract.
Like just professional basketball.
The
If anyone were to just be like, all right, like that's cool, it would be him, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. I love how they find him one day and he's like, "All right, I'll be back. I'll be back." At least Ben Simmons had the balls to take the
That's
cut.
right.
Also, have you seen his quotes? He's back.
No.
He said he's
Of course he
100% back. He's basically said this team's gonna be scary. Like, just get ready. Ready for Ben Simmons quotes. That's my favorite part about media day is just Ben Simmons quotes.
What if he did just have like an all-star year?
He's just back. He comes
could
back.
totally
He's
convince yourself
He's
that
shooting like
he's a
45% from three.
Well, not even
He's
that,
like, he
but
figured it out.
just becoming what Ben Simmons was his rookie and sophomore year.
I bet there's a Brooklyn fan out there, a couple, maybe a little clan that are like Ben Simmons believers.
It's probably like the same Jets fans that are believers in Zach Wilson,
Hey, Collinsworth.
which we can get to.
Well, okay.
Not
get to
Ronnie
that.
Harrison.
Oh, dude, that was messed up. We'll get to that. We'll get to that now. Perfect transition.
Transition, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get.
I was about to say, if you wasted my perfect transition.
We
Yes.
almost did. I kind of fumbled it. I'm not gonna lie, but oh, sorry. We have a comment saying sign Hornets legend Bismack Biyombo. Bismack Biyombo needs to be on the team. Actually, no, that's a lie. As funny as that would be, I do not want to see him in a Celtics uniform. That's a waste of Celtics money.
Yes, that's.
I do not want Bismack Biyombo on my team. All right, let's move on to some NFL football. Let's go talk about our wise picks this week. Chris, I don't even know what to say, Chris.
You can start. think of a silver lining here.
We've had some. All right, I want to just point out that this year we've had Broncos +6, Bucks +5, Giants +1.5, and what other one was like a complete destruction?
The Jets was pretty bad.
Yeah, Jets +9.5. That was terrible. Just we've
the
had
Raiders
some bad
+8.5 was
That
bad.
was bad.
The Broncos one is still.
Your Giants one was pretty dog shit. At least the Broncos
My
scored 20
Giants one
points.
was not
At least the Broncos scored 20 points that game.
I mean, the Giants were 30 points closer to winning their game than the Broncos.
That's true.
were.
That's a good point. That's still a good point. Let's get right into it. I don't know who picked first. Was it you and the Titans or me and the Vikings?
I don't know. I can start with my Titans though. That was like I was feeling myself during that game. And
Yeah.
I have Burrow in fantasy, but he's on my bench, so it was whatever. This week, it was like the first week I wasn't desperately rooting for him, and I was just soaking it all up. Like, man, I'm a genius. I sniffed this one out. Look at me go! Like, and it just like cemented my confidence in the Giants game on Monday too. I was like, I'm the best. Like, I can sniff these out.
Like I'm so
I saw
freaking
the
wise.
Saints game.
So
I
freaking
was like,
wise.
yeah, whatever. Like, I got that one wrong. That's okay. These are tough teams. But yeah, Bengals are broken, dude. Broken.
It's time to bench Joe Burrow. Get him healthy. T.
Yeah.
Higgins is already out. They can't just keep hobbling Burrow out there.
No, you can't.
They don't have an offense. Just put in the backup because it's not working with him out there. So there's no point of putting him out there.
Yeah, like how much worse could you be?
They've had 3 touchdowns this whole season. 3 touchdowns in 4 games. They've had 2 games where they ended the game with 3 points. That's pitiful.
Browning is the backup quarterback.
It doesn't matter who the backup quarterback is. It really does. Like, they have not been able to score with Joe freaking Burrow. Just bench him and let him get healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that would be a logical thing to do, but
And I know
most teams don't operate that way.
No, and most teams, they don't want to punt. I mean, they're playing the Cardinals next week. They think it's a win. They're in the locker room. They think it's going to be a win. Cardinals are a tough team, by the way. This could be, I don't know what the line is. Yeah, but this is a frisky team. And, I mean, they could easily lose to this Cardinals team, though. They can't score points.
That would be a nail in the coffin. If this week wasn't the nail in the coffin, like, losing to the Cardinals would be ultra nail.
Yeah, if they like, and there's also a reality. There's a reality out there. Even though I just said the Cardinals are frisky, where you can start your backup quarterback and probably beat the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, I mean the Cardinals are starting a backup quarterback.
Exactly. And Josh Dobbs looked good, by the way.
Yeah,
but they need to figure something out, and it's starting. This is panic time.
Huge if it wasn't already.
Yeah, it's huge panic time.
Because last week they were just kind of like hanging on by a thread almost. They didn't really look good in that win against the Rams.
They barely won.
But because it was a win and they hadn't gotten one yet, it was like, okay, like we're gonna be all right. And then this was
pitiful. Yeah, this is pitiful. All right. Well, you did sniff that one out.
Thanks.
The rest of the way did not look good though. My first pick, Vikings -4.5 against the poopy Carolina Panthers. I mean, this is just kind of
wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't pretty. I just thought they would be able to take care of it, and they did. But my God, like Kirk had his first really bad game. This is bad.
It was almost like a who wants to lose this game more.
Yeah. And it's really funny now. The Panthers are like, oh, we want to trade for a number 1 wide receiver.
You had one.
I don't know. It's also okay. I saw a really, really, really funny tweet about the Panthers, which is really devastating. Their GM refused to trade Brian Burns for 2 first-round picks to the Rams last year, and refused to put Brian Burns in the package for the number 1 pick, resulting in DJ Moore going in the package for the number 1 pick. Now they're looking to trade a number 1 wide receiver, and they have yet to get a contract extension on Brian Burns.
Ugh.
That's a travesty. That's franchise malpractice.
That is malpractice.
And like, not
fact they
saying you
haven't
had to
signed
do the
him
trade.
Without even all the other stuff
Say again?
is ridiculous. Like the fact that they haven't signed him, ignoring all of the other
Yeah.
stuff, is already bad
Yeah.
enough.
And oh man, Bryce just looks like a deer in the headlights. He just does not look like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's not really
And
like
it sucks. The worst part for them is that Stroud has been so good. Richardson has been good too.
Richardson.
That's gotta be just like a punch to the groin every time a Stroud or Richardson highlight pops up. Because Bryce Young has no highlights.
Not a
They
one.
didn't score.
Not a one.
They didn't get in the end zone.
Yeah, they
Aside
did.
from the interception.
Yeah, the pick 6. That's it.
Yeah, like their offense.
No, yeah, offense did not get in there. Like, I don't blame him though. Like, he's throwing to Adam Thielen and Terrence Marshall and DJ Chark. He has no protection.
But
Every
we
time
talked
he's in
about how
there.
they have like guys.
Yeah, they're decent.
Not
And-
good guys, but they're guys.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess it's more like, TJ Stroud's getting it done with, who's that? They're not, Nico
with Tank
Collins.
Dell
Nico Collins.
and
You know,
Bobby
he's like,
Trees.
Nico Collins is like top 10 fantasy receiver right now. I had no idea. My roommates were talking about him like in a trade, and I was like, why the hell would I want Nico Collins? And they're like, look at his stats, bro.
400 yards, 3 touchdowns.
So
Pretty wild.
I do admit, Bryce Young looks he looks rushed every time CJ Stroud kind of looks like he has some protection and looks poised, but Bryce Young just looks rushed every time the ball gets snapped to him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that happy feet type of deal that I don't really like. And I don't know if it's him that
Just
just
gotta
needs to
take a
calm
chill
down.
pill.
Yeah, he might just need to calm down a little bit in the pocket. Part of it could be because he's
But
just
it's
so
tough to
freaking
do when
small.
you're 0-4 and you don't have a good offense.
And you're 5'9".
Yeah, that's also true.
It's really hard to do when you're 5'9". You're scared of your life, I'm guessing, every time you're in the pocket. They need to see something come next week. Who are they playing? Panthers? They play someone bad. I think. No, they play the Dolphins. Never mind.
Oh.
No, Lions
Dolphins on a
first.
bounce
Lions
back week,
first.
too.
Nope, Lions first.
Oh.
Still not good.
Also not good. Yeah, they got the Lions, the Dolphins, and a bye, it looks like. And then they're back for the Texans. Winnable. Colts.
I want to see.
Bears. Okay, it gets better.
I want to. I saw a lot of things about the Panthers of their play calling too. That Frank Reich has just been calling some terrible play calls, and I feel like that's kind of been all around the NFL. But that it doesn't look like that head coach signing is great either.
No, and I like that.
I liked it too. I liked Frank Reich. I thought he could make this work, and because they hired him, I thought whoever they picked number 1 was going to be the right pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a quarter of the season through.
Yeah,
It's rookie year, but it's looking rough. All right, you're up next. Saints -3. What is up with this Bucks team?
I was gonna say, what's up with the Saints team? Because I'm putting the Saints on my don't bet on list. Because
Why
I
did
just don't know
Jameis
what they're
play?
gonna be week in and week out. I don't know. I thought Jameis was gonna play. I saw Derek Carr in there. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, but why does Jameis have 1 pick? You have any idea?
I don't know.
'Cause
I
it's
don't
not-
know.
It's not like I
was-
watched this game.
I was playing
It was
baseball on
boring
Sunday.
as fuck. Well, this game is boring as shit. I wasn't watching this thing.
And yeah, I didn't go back and watch anything from this game.
Great stat line. Alvin Kamara, 13 catches for 33 yards. If that doesn't scream Derek Carr, I really don't know what does.
So maybe like are the Bucks good, and the Eagles are just that much better?
I think the Bucks are serviceable. I think their defense is good enough
Okay.
to keep them in games, and I think Baker has clearly shown that he's just like every other quarterback in this league. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to think like a guy like Baker, I think it's starting to get into my mind. As long as you have the freaking confidence to play quarterback, you could kind of just be good in this. Like Baker has the confidence
Yeah.
every week.
There's going to be a meltdown at some.
Yeah, and he'll bounce
Right?
back. Yeah, no, I'm sure, and he'll eventually bounce back.
Yes. Maybe we're just wrong about Baker. Like as an NFL universe.
My dad did text me saying mid Patriots game saying he wants Baker Mayfield. He said he'd rather have Baker Mayfield. I told him he might have been
He was
hyperbole.
last in our QB tier.
I know he was ass. It's him and Derek Carr.
Yeah, this was the ass game.
Yeah, this was the ass game, and it looks like Derek Carr's worse.
if you said pick one, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, I'm taking Baker Mayfield.
Oh, 1,000 times. And that is talking about the meta where there's no contracts involved. In real life, I can get Baker Mayfield for $10 million, and I can get Derek Carr for 133.
Yeah, that contract does not look good right now.
No, it's terrible.
Not
so
that it ever looked good, in all fairness.
No, it's the same thing with Daniel Jones, which we'll get to with your last pick. Yeah, I just think this division, I don't know, divisional game's weird. Baker just might be good.
It is weird.
Saints might just be kind of cheeks. The Saints play the Pats next week. This is gonna be a combined score of 35, if that. Like it's really gonna be heinous.
I don't know if I've ever felt like I know so little about the NFL after this week.
I will say, a quarter through the season, it's been a really, really weird season. Strange.
Yeah. But last week we were talking about how we knew everything and how these teams are just exactly who we thought they were. And this week everything got flipped upside down, I feel.
Okay, but all right, let's look at are we being hyperbole or like what? So I mean not
I don't know. It was like the Bizarro week.
What game specifically? The Saints game?
This game, like the Jets offense looked good.
Yeah.
The Texans
just
look
might be
good again.
I don't know. The Texans might just be good. I don't know.
Maybe. Like Kirk Cousins was horrible. The Bengals hadn't looked this bad. Dolphins got the shit kicked out of them. Patriots had the worst loss ever. I don't know.
It was weird. I
just don't know what to think moving on.
It's hard. This is freaking tough.
It is hard, yeah. We have a hard job.
Speaking of hard losses, this one was tough. Taylor Swift game. Sunday Night Football.
Oh, that was Mahomes' fault.
Chiefs.
Obviously.
Mahomes. Chiefs, Jets. This should, I mean, we should be talking about a Jets victory right now. Right there. It's in the grass.
So you're on board with they did get screwed?
I think they got screwed. I mean, I don't hate the call because it was the right call. I don't like...
The hold?
Yeah.
It's just a little ticky-tack.
No, it's just a little late. I don't like looking at the...
After the incompletion?
Yeah, no, after the interception. I don't like the ref looking at an intercepted ball and throwing a flag.
Right, yeah.
That's what I don't like. If it was before the interception, there should be no discussion about any of it. But the reason why there's this big discussion is that he threw the flag after the pick, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was after the pick, and
yeah. I mean, maybe he was just struggling to get it out.
Yeah, I know, but it looked really fishy. It looked fishy. Looked really fishy. Yeah. And the fact that Taylor Swift is there, and the fact that the freaking NFL. Well, no, this is serious. And the fact that the NFL
I know. I hate that we have to talk about this.
Their Instagram bio was the Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties. Like that makes me think that you're rigging these games, man. The fact that the NFL account is like basically rooting for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift, like They were not going to end this game showing Taylor Swift crying with a Zach Wilson victory left off on Sunday Night Football. That was
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yes.
And
I mean, they probably weren't even ready to do it. They were like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Like,
no, yeah, they probably didn't think it
"Oh,
mattered at
yeah,
all.
man." The other bat, like the hold that they missed, on the 3rd and 22.
That's
scramble,
bad too. Like
that
that's
one was
really
pretty
bad.
atrocious.
And it wouldn't. That also again wouldn't have mattered if it didn't affect the play. I don't care about holds that don't affect the
Well,
play.
yeah.
But if it's
Well, he
right
had
there and it's
30
blatant,
minutes to
That's what I'm
scramble
saying,
around
yeah.
and wait for the receivers to get all the way down the field so he could run for 20 yards.
yeah, that was bad.
It did suck.
It was good to see.
I do feel bad for the Jets because like that was you've had such a shitty start to the year. Like you won that first game and then so you had your hopes up a little bit even with Rodgers going down, and then last 2 weeks have just been miserable. This would have gotten him back on track and you just got jobbed.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily 100%. Like Zach Wilson shouldn't have fumbled the snap and lost it.
Right, yeah, of course.
But I love that Zach Wilson got this chance to play well in a big
Mhm.
stage. He got basically his flowers. He's the only quarterback to have better stats than Mahomes ever in a game, ever,
No.
college or NFL. Swear to God.
That is not true.
To have wait, sorry. To have more yards, completions, and less interceptions, and touchdowns, and less interceptions. So basically, outplay him.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
The only quarterback to ever
That is
do
hard
it,
to
Zach
believe,
Wilson.
but-
It is hard to believe.
What about in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers?
Maybe it was regular season. I don't know. I saw it on
I
Twitter.
mean, I guess it's possible that like one of those stats, like maybe had more completions because they had to throw the ball more.
Yeah, or yeah.
Well,
it was very specific. Yeah, but either way,
he had a good night.
yeah, he did have a good night. It was good.
This was the first time he looked like competent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. You think it was because T Swift was there? Or Donna Kelsey?
Maybe.
Maybe it was Donna Kelsey.
I saw that. Travis Kelce looking up at
Yes, and then Zach Wilson.
looking up at Donna Kelsey. Oh man, he just likes the lights.
Maybe he's just I don't know. He sucked in so many primetime games. He definitely doesn't just like the lights. Anyways, what we talked about earlier, Rodney Harrison after the game talking to Chris Jones, setting him up to diss on Zach Wilson, and Chris Jones gives a very professional response and doesn't lean into the negativity towards Zach Wilson.
Mhm.
Low blow by Rodney Harrison.
It just wasn't nice.
It wasn't
It
necessary.
was just mean.
Yeah, it wasn't
No,
necessary.
completely unnecessary. He's not a talking head.
No, and especially
Like, it's
after.
one thing for the New York radio to be like, "Oh, like Zach Wilson watching his tape, he looks so bad."
Yeah,
For Rodney Harrison to say it is like, come on, dude.
yeah. On Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime, like, come on, you're just supposed to be the commentator. You're supposed to be unbiased. Can't be doing stuff like. And even
Especially
if,
after I had a good night.
yeah, there was no need, especially, yeah,
Like, why are we trying to kick him down?
after a heartbreaking loss
Taylor
that
Swift
wasn't his
probably
fault.
paid him to do it.
It's all her fault.
It's not her fault.
All
Have
right.
you seen the Big Cat controversy with Taylor Swift?
Yes, I did. For the people at home, Big Cat, Barstool employee, runs Pardon My Take. He on Pardon My Take said that if all this is gonna happen, we have some justice for Zach in the comments. That
Yes. We're praising him.
yeah. He said if we're gonna get all this footage of Kelsey and Taylor Swift, they have to drop a sex tape. And he is getting absolutely bashed by people.
I don't understand. Like, why is everyone taking it so personally?
Because nobody understands that it's a joke.
Yes, it's
Nobody,
just, like,
people don't
keeping it
understand
all
comedy
below the
anymore, and they
show,
look at it and
yeah.
they're like, "That's so ridiculous."
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm
and
obviously not serious.
no, and people don't realize he's a
I mean,
married man
he
with
is
3
to a
years.
degree. Yes, he does
3
have 3
kids.
kids.
So like, it's not like he's this awful guy.
Yeah.
He's just trying to be funny for the people, for the comedy sports
was
show that he
hilarious.
runs. Yeah, it was hilarious. And the fact that what people don't realize is he wants the Taylor Swift fans on Twitter to go after him.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's begging for. So you're playing the Swifties out there are playing right into his trap.
They're nuts.
It
It's
really
like sometimes I see tweets and I read them as sarcasm, and I can't tell if
they're real or not.
people imitating Swifties or
Yeah.
if they're actually Swifties. And usually it actually is Swifties.
Mm-hmm.
That's how crazy it is. But it needs to be over with.
They're making too much money off of it. She's gonna be at every one of these games until her movie comes out, and then she's gonna be disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, and she's going to Europe soon, I think.
Oh, thank God. Can she stay there?
They'll have like a live camera.
Great. She'll be at the London game. God damn it.
Like the Olympics when they have.
Yeah, they'll be like, Taylor Swift's there.
Like across the country, like the watch party at 3 a.m.
Also, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were there. That's a much bigger deal than Taylor Swift.
I saw that, yeah.
That's a much bigger deal. All right, next up, Giants.
It's time.
It's the Giants.
All right, well, I can at least take pleasure in seeing the Giants get absolutely steamrolled.
They got wrecked.
It was not a good pick. I thought that I had sniffed something out here. I don't know what that line was doing. I'm going to wonder that the rest of my life. Why was it 1.5? And why do they open as favorites? I can't wrap my head around it. Boy, did they look atrocious. And like right from the start. Like the Seahawks were kind of fumbling around too, but right from the start, things did not look good.
What I learned from this game is next time there's a fishy like 1.5 like that, I'm betting an alternate spread on who should be favored. Like next time we see that, like it's Seahawks -1.5 against some shitty team. Like let's get -6.5 Seahawks.
Yeah.
Nail that one in.
That's 13.5. Honestly.
Honestly.
Like this, I mean, and the Seahawks didn't even look good.
No, Daniel Jones just
Giants
kept
just-
giving it away.
Oh, bad.
Like
Like
they
that, and the one touchdown that they scored, the Metcalf one, like Deontay Banks just stopped covering. You know the one I'm talking about at the end of the first quarter?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And he's a Maryland guy, so like,
Did you have on the Manning
No.
cast at all?
no.
At the end, it was
No.
just like,
Actually, when Will Ferrell was on there, I had it on for a little bit.
oh, I missed the Will Ferrell because I missed the first quarter. But Eli was just like the dumbfounded Eli face almost the whole time.
It was hard to believe.
Daniel
Well,
Jones just kept
not
giving it
really,
away.
actually.
Yeah, he just kept giving it away. Fumbles, interceptions. It was just bad.
It's like rookie year Daniel Jones.
He got sacked 11 times. 11 times by a not good pass rush. Like this pass rush is not good.
No,
No one's.
they have Jaron Reed and like Adams, who
He got
blitzes
injured.
a lot, and he played 6 minutes.
Yeah, he got injured immediately. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I felt like they could just like throw whoever they wanted at him.
And yeah, they
Well,
were going to
there's who
sack
got
Daniel
sacked.
Jones. Yep, and they were going to sack Daniel Jones.
Like, all right, go get him. They had enough sacks for every defensive starter to have one.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, what a disaster. Where do you go from here?
I don't know. And it's maybe like this and the Pats, like maybe it's like you just retool and you just freaking gear up and move on. And I'm guessing that's what they're going to do. That's probably what the Pats are going to do with a terrible loss like this. But maybe like it seems like after a loss like this, something should happen. But I don't know
Well,
what it
yeah,
is.
I don't. That question, I don't mean like you have to do something to fix this. It's like, what do you do like as a fan?
Yeah. No, you give up.
mentally?
You give up.
How do you? Yeah, right. Like, how do you get up for next week's game?
Who do they play next week?
They play the Dolphins and then the Giants or the Bills.
You don't
the
get
Bills
up.
game is
You don't get
Sunday.
up until maybe the Commanders game. But if the Commanders still look good, you don't get up for that either.
I just want to say on the record that I was right about the Giants as a team. I was
Just
wrong
not
with
this
pick.
week.
but I was right so far. I guess there's time for them to turn around, but they're most likely going to be 1-5.
Weren't they 1-5 last year? No, they weren't this
They're
bad
like
to start.
7-1.
Oh, yeah. They started great. That's what it was. Okay. Last wise pick. The game of the week coming in. It was kind of a blowout the whole time, but
Yeah, you
Bills.
nailed this one.
Bills take one over the Dolphins. It was really I kind of did nail it. Everything I laid out. They just wanted it more.
Exactly right. Exactly what we previewed is what happened.
They were at home. They wanted to win. I mean,
There was more pressure on them
yes.
to win this game than there was on.
Yep, that's
And they
exactly what it
delivered.
was. And the Dolphins, like a bunch of Dolphins players after this game came out and was like, basically like, we kind of needed this. Like, we just dropped 70,
Mhm.
and it makes
Yeah.
sense. Like after you drop 70, it's hard to get up for the next week and perform like that, especially against a really good divisional opponent who wants to prove that they're not frauds.
Mhm.
And I think this was like a kind of welcoming them back, Buffalo. Hey, we know you're good again.
Yeah.
Like we know you're
Well,
back.
I mean, the last
Yeah, it lasts like 2 weeks, but
the Commanders game wasn't enough for.
yeah, but those were against bad teams.
You just said that they were good.
Okay, one bad, one the Raiders were bad.
Yes,
Commanders are
bad.
the Commanders are frisky.
All right, I'll take it.
I don't think we need to. I mean, everything we previewed was pretty much right. So
Yeah.
going. All right.
It doesn't mean like the Dolphins are done either.
No, not at all. I think the Dolphins are going to be just fine. They're going to stomp the Giants. They might score 70 again. Daniel Jones just keeps giving it to them.
Can you imagine?
I'm not. They score like
like 65 against the Giants. The Giants' defense is not that bad. That's the other thing that like sucks.
no, their defense isn't that bad. They're a lot like the Patriots.
Yeah.
They're a lot like the Patriots. All right, games we missed. The Toy Story game. You check out any of the Toy Story game?
I did not, unfortunately.
You didn't miss much. It was like watching
Okay.
It was like if they made Madden for the Nintendo Switch, and then had you watch a full Madden game on Nintendo Switch.
Like a Madden 09 on the
Yeah.
Wii.
Yeah, pretty much. And they all had like big heads and little bodies. It was like an arcade
Mhm.
version. It was cool. I didn't really understand who it was for because I feel like Toy Story is kind of too old for kids this age to like no kid this age is like.
Is it?
I mean, who's these like the first 2 movies came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but they like didn't 4 come out pretty recently?
I guess. When did Toy Story 4 come
I don't know. But like I feel like those are movies that would
I guess
show
it's
your
2019.
kids, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like the
But I don't-
generation that grew up with it is like almost to the point where they're having little kids, right?
Yeah.
So,
Man.
I don't know.
I think I don't know. It's no SpongeBob, It's no Universal Nickelodeon
Yeah,
type
that's true.
to get everyone together.
Yeah. That's fair.
It was oddly specific, which is I guess was weird.
Hmm.
It was also really bland. They had a green football field in Andy's room, basically like a carpet laid out, and
Mhm.
around it was just Andy's room. So like it wasn't anything interesting to look at. It was weird.
Was the technology cool? Like it worked?
Yeah, it was cool. It worked oddly. Like it did have the players doing what the players were doing on the field with like some weird
Mhm.
animations and like the football. The football was the weirdest to get locked down on the animation. But like the running plays were the best ones. Like Trevor Lawrence on that big scramble that he had looked cool.
Mhm.
But that was about it.
Got it.
Falcons. So this is what I figured out. Let me try to figure out. It was last night that I figured it out. It was like in some way the Falcons are like a degree below, like 2 degrees below the Lions. Oh, here's what it is. The Lions, even though the Seahawks have beaten the Lions, I get that. The Lions are the top of the tier, and then the Seahawks, and then the Falcons are just the worst version of the Seahawks and the Lions.
So the Seahawks are a worse version of the Lions? Is that what you're saying?
A slightly worse
And
version than
then-
the Lions, and then the Falcons
Okay.
are a way worse version of both of those two teams. A lot of offensive talent, a pretty
Okay.
like mediocre quarterback, and like a decent defense that's like been improving for a couple of years. Right?
I don't hate that comparison.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of similar teams.
And I think, yeah, okay.
I just think
I don't
Desmond
hate
Ritter
that.
kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this game. And we've kind of like been edging that a little bit
Yeah, tippy toeing
last
around it.
couple weeks. Yeah, he doesn't look good. And we should have known because he wasn't a captain. But
Yeah.
this is bad.
He
And
also
they have
they
a very
cannot
capable backup who's just sitting there waiting.
Taylor. He's gonna
Yeah.
come at some point. He'll play at some point.
I think it's probably coming up pretty soon, depending on what their schedule looks like.
They can't get the ball to Drake London, Kyle Pitts, but they can get the ball to Jonnu Smith. Like I don't know. This team doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, I hate talking about them yet again this year. He's kind of
Well, I
pissed me
feel like
off.
every storyline is just like getting overused. It's like, oh, like Kyle Pitts had another game where he didn't have any catches.
Yeah, it's like
Is this ever gonna throw in the ball? It's like,
no,
nope.
no, they're not
Move
going
on.
to. Yeah.
Bijan still looks good though. That's
Oh, he
something.
looks incredible. He looks so good.
I had a dream that he died. He showed up on the injury report as dead, and I was like, "What?"
Wow.
That's how they announce it. Like, it was
Wow.
just,
It's just on the fantasy
it was, like,
football injury
inactive,
report.
and it was like Bijan Robinson like dead.
Has
and I was like,
died.
what?
Has died. That's like a
Yeah,
oh,
it was in
Weird dream.
shambles this
Yeah,
morning for a little
weird,
bit.
weird dream.
It was weird. Yeah, it was like I remember because I had my work league. I have McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson, and it like came up and it was like McCaffrey like hand injury, like he's out, and then Robinson dead. Like damn, without both my starting running backs.
You were just in shit. Yeah, you just woke up like, oh my! You woke up in a sweat. I bet.
Yeah.
Just checking your
Um,
league frequently, like the second you wake up.
It's like, oh no, he's fine. He's fine. He's just on the Falcons offense.
Yeah, yeah. The best game.
But they
of the
do
week-
need to get
Oh.
Heineke in there, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Sorry.
I was moving on. I didn't want to talk about them anymore. The Jags. Should we be a little concerned about the Jags?
I've been concerned about the Jags. But I'm not like they'll figure it out, I think.
Yeah, and they don't have a good they don't have a good next week to figure it out. Then they have the Colts, Saints, and
yeah.
Steelers. So they should figure it out within that week.
Mhm.
Those weeks.
It could be it's in London though.
Yeah, it's their second home.
I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Bills.
No, neither would I. They
Bills,
and
huge letdown spot. Like that was their biggest game of the year.
they get to stay in London too, which is kind of cool. I think it's the first time they've done
I
that.
guess, yeah.
I think it's kind of cool. All right, the best game of the week. Colts, Rams.
Mm.
This was just
Hell of a comeback.
yeah. Yeah, it was. I really thought that the Colts looked dead the whole time.
I know.
And I was just shocked when I saw them come back. I was
Mhm.
so excited. I wanted them to complete the comeback, but didn't end up happening. Rams sneakily just like find players to play. Puka's great. Kyrie Williams. But by the way, Kyrie Williams is not talked about in the fantasy season whatsoever, just because Puka Nacua is so good. Like Kyrie Williams came out of. Did anyone know about this guy before the beginning of the season? And now he's just the
No,
starting running back.
I
for the
first learned
Rams.
his name week 1.
Yeah, he's the starting running back for the Rams and is good.
Mhm.
Basically the
Yeah,
Rams.
if you showed I just have the Google recap pulled up and it's Stafford, Kyron Williams, and Puka Nacua. If you showed me those 3 names were their leaders in the game, I'd have been like, oh, they're 0-4.
Yeah. Yep. They have just been able to figure out people to play, and really the key for the Rams is if they can protect Matthew Stafford, they can win games. They can find ways to win games, and it's really that O-line play. So,
Mhm.
and like I was wrong about Stafford. I will
Yes.
admit it. You had him
Suck
on that.
it.
Yeah, you had him. He's good. He's good.
He wasn't good last week, but you're right. I think it hinges a lot on protection.
Yeah,
Which is,
because he was getting
kinda how
slammed last
football
week.
works.
Yeah, he was getting slammed last week against the
Fairness.
Bengals. So if you can protect him and get him time to throw, he's gonna throw all over you. Colts, Anthony Richardson is a red zone quarterback. It's a perfect red zone quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not a great long drive quarterback.
That's actually a good way of putting it.
And I think
They
he'll
could
figure it
just
out.
throw Minshew in there, and then as soon as they get to the 20,
Get to the 20 though, and Richardson.
Yeah.
They really
two
could.
quarterback play.
He'll figure it out though. Like I feel like he is put enough on tape where I feel like he can figure it out.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I need to.
All right. It is next up. What do we got?
Ravens, I mean, almost a throwaway
Yeah,
game.
that was a throwaway game. Watson out. Dorian Thompson Robinson looked terrible. He had a good preseason, so I was kind of excited for him to start, but he looked terrible. Ravens, I guess they looked good. They good enough to win. They look good, I guess.
Yeah, took care of business. Good for them.
This doesn't teach me anything about the Ravens, though. Like, they played a team
No
quarterback. All right. Coming up. All right. The Bears. Oh, my God, the Bears.
What a meltdown.
Justin Fields finally gets a 300-plus game.
The Broncos were the worst team in the history of football.
And it's the Bears that are the worst.
Roaring back.
Yeah, that are the Bears that are the worst.
Oh, man.
I was
tough.
honestly shocked when they started coming back.
It is shocking.
And you could see the writing on the wall. Like Fields just started throwing he threw that pick right in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And once that was over, I think they were still down by 14, the Broncos. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they have it. Like now the Broncos
It was 28-7 until there were 14 seconds left in the third quarter.
17 points in the fourth quarter is historically bad. To Russell Wilson, who has been written off 5 times by now.
He is so cooked. Cooked.
And yet he's throwing all over the yard.
They have no running backs, mind you.
Yeah, Jahlil McLaughlin? Guess so.
What is Samaje Perine doing? I drafted him in fantasy.
I don't know.
Why is
I
he
thought
not
he'd be
out
better. Yeah, I don't know why he's not out there. I don't know who McLaughlin is, but I thought P. Ryan would be out there.
Nobody does. Yeah, that was. It is hard to believe how bad they are. And this was a.
And this wasn't even
Honestly,
Fields'
this
fault.
might have been the game of the week. This was a.
Yeah, this
the
was
teams weren't so bad.
Yeah, this wasn't
this game was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And DJ, Justin Fields actually looked good for
I know
three and a half quarters. DJ Moore's there. Man, they stink.
I'm nervous about Thursday night, though. I'll admit.
I will say, if they won this game, Thursday night would have been the easiest. It would have been sleepwalking to a victory for the Commanders. But now that they blew it. But here's the thing,
they might just be completely dead.
I was gonna say, is there fire in the Bears? I don't think there's fire in them when they wake up.
That might have been the last ounce.
Fight they had left.
Completely gone now. Hopefully.
Well, you mentioned him. So Washington Commanders lose 31-34 to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I said last week that if they covered, I would be happy.
Yeah.
And of course, I wasn't happy in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 or 3 hours later, I was willing to accept a moral victory.
Okay.
And really well, I guess there's a couple things, but the only bone to pick that I have is not going for 2, which I just cannot begin to fathom why you would not take that chance to win the game on one play. You're the worst team. Why would you try to play another quarter? And it's you're freaking Riverboat Ron. You can't be Riverboat and not go for 2. He's like, oh well, the guys were gassed. Do you think that your guys were more gassed than the defense was?
Yeah, I just got let up
They were
70
the ones who
yards
just
and a
got
touchdown.
shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah. put your nuts on the line and go for it, man. And who, like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But at least you tell your guys that you believe in them. And people are like, oh, well, they got the ball anyway. It's like, yeah, they didn't freaking know they would get the ball at the time of the call. That rhymed.
He did rhyme. I always have
So
the
it's a stupid argument.
I always have the excuse that if you get the ball in overtime, it doesn't matter. But when you point out, when you tie a football game, and you have the opportunity to go for two, if you're the home team, you kick the extra point. You're away, and you're the worst team, go for two. You end it there. You end it there. You don't let them get any sort of opportunity, whether you get the ball at the start of overtime or not. You gotta end the game there, or at least try.
Yep. And you're telling me that, like, every NFL team, any football team, has at least one play for a 2-point conversion where they're like, this is our play when the game is on the line, the season's on the line. We need a 2-point conversion here to either win or tie the game. We have a play that we think is going to work every time. You're telling me that they don't have one of those plays? They're not confident enough to dial something up in that situation?
And that's the perfect situation to do it, because if that works, you're tied for the division.
Yeah. You're 3-1. You just beat the defending NFC champions on the road. And actually, you might be first in the division.
Yeah.
Because Dallas has a division win. But yeah, whatever. You'd be 3-1. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Like, we're talking about the same thing that we are now, except we're addressing defense getting torched. Which they did.
But on the positive side, good game for Howell. Good game for the offense. Still, I mean,
and that's why I
you
wanted
guys
to
could have
lead
run the
with
ball more.
The moral victory. I don't know. I figured going into that game they weren't going to be able to run the ball at all.
They need in other games, in other scenarios where you're not facing this defensive front, they need to run the ball more.
Yes, correct.
Robinson should be getting almost 20 every game. Getting like 16 to 18 every game. Anything else, or do you want to move on?
I am impressed with Sam.
I am too.
Bouncing back after that is pretty awesome to see.
Yeah.
So I will say he started 5 games in the NFL, and I've been at least satisfied with 4 of them.
That's a pretty good resume so far.
The one was a complete dumpster fire, but you play well or well enough to win 80% of weeks, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Speaking of young quarterbacks that are doing well, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans decimated the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is this the low of the Mike Tomlin era?
It's pretty bad.
I mean, they're 2-2, but this is awful.
I don't really like this. Is
you see who their receiving leader is?
Yeah, it's Najee, and then Jalen Warren. So that just telling me that Kenny Pickett either had I guess he just has no time in the pocket. I guess his wide receivers aren't open. I don't really know. Like there's no reason. And I kind of thought like this was going into the week. I kind of liked the Texans. Thought this would be like a sneaky pick. But there should be no reason why the Texans should be beating the Steelers. And Kenny Pickett just might be done. Not done, but maybe he's just not. Maybe he's just like everyone else. Yeah. Maybe he's just like Baker and he's just like Mac. And
I think he's more of Ritter.
Yeah, he could be more of Ritter.
I'm out on Pickett. I was excited about him. No.
Excited for the Texans,
I don't think
though.
The play calling is any help.
No, I don't think the play calling is. That's like being the big kind of scapegoat has been the play calling so far. So it'll be interesting to see if they switch it up, and if that's the big scapegoat, don't be like the Patriots last year and just ride it on the whole season and just make a change.
Just get rid of him now.
Yeah. Raiders Chargers. I didn't watch this game. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Shocker though that the Chargers played down in their competition.
No, and I saw that they almost blew it too. They didn't score at all in the second half, and they could have easily blown that one.
Also, did you see the? I did see Josh McDaniels. They asked him like how he thought Aiden O'Connell played, and he's like, "Well, it's a game where you have to protect the football." Instead of this is his first ever start. He's like a fifth round draft pick.
He's a
Instead
loser.
of just being like,
Josh
well,
McDaniels is a loser.
he played well. He got things to work on, but
Josh McDaniels is a loser.
solid. He is a loser.
Is this the end of Jimmy again? Like, I mean, I guess he didn't play well. Like, I guess he played the same game as probably Jimmy G would have played.
Yeah, probably.
I don't see the stat line changing at all. I hope Jimmy gets another shot.
Yeah.
I always hate seeing him.
Yeah, it's just not the situation for him, I guess. Not good enough.
No, they're really not. And they're an interesting team to keep an eye on with Josh Jacobs and Adams. Because those are real teal players, and this offense cannot produce.
Yeah.
So if this comes week 7 and they're still this bad on offense, they're one of the two might get traded, if not both.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and Jacobs had the contract thing too, which
Yeah.
makes it even more likely. You want to see a funny stat?
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels is the first Raiders coach to lose games with 4 quarterbacks in a 7-game span.
Wow.
Jimmy G, Stidham, Carr, and O'Connell.
That's bad.
A lot of
7 games.
quarterbacks.
That is a lot of quarterbacks in 7 games.
That's like 2018 Redskins.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was a bad
But
era.
Ron's done it like 3 different times. I guess that was. Wait, who was the coach? That was still Gruden.
Yeah, that was still Jay. That was Sanchez, Josh Johnson,
Colt,
Alex Smith, Colt McCoy,
Sanchez. Josh. Yeah.
That was an electric era of. That was
Ron did it with Haskins, Kyle Allen,
Smith again at some point,
Alex
right?
Smith.
Yeah,
yeah. And then Heineke.
And Wentz.
Wow. Oh my. Yeah. I guess if you throw him, yeah, he could.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be a 7-game span because that was 2 years later.
Yeah. That would have been.
I guess you could throw Fitzpatrick in there.
He never played. I was gonna play. He played a half. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Cardinals, Niners. The only thing I have in this game is because it was just a complete butt whooping. I mean, they're a little frisky, but it was still that wasn't really close. Christian McCaffrey, why is he not higher on MVP odds? Is that we just not giving it to a running back? Because like he is by far the MVP. This team is not 4-0 without Christian McCaffrey, and it's certainly not because of Brock Purdy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. And they've had like the receivers haven't all been healthy at the same time, and like Debo had 0 catches, I think, this week.
Debo's hasn't done much this whole season. Ayuk had 2 monster games this week and week 1, and George Kittle has been non-existent. He's been a extra lineman. So the fact that like McCaffrey needs to be higher on MVP odds, and I might bet for him because his odds are still low. And even though they never give it to a running back,
taking the Bake advice.
Might have to. Oh, is that Bake? Is that what Bake was saying? Shout out Bake. I'll give Bake a shout out. Love that kid.
Yeah.
All right.
He said he listens on occasion.
Oh, hopefully, maybe we'll get a text saying thanks for the shout out. All right, time for the New England Patriots. Yeah, this is the worst they've ever looked. It's the worst they've ever looked. I've been down on Stevenson all year. He sucks. Max had his worst game as a starter. And, like, it was worse than the stats say. Like, you can't even look at the stat sheet and realize how bad he was.
I was at my parents' house for this, and this was the only game that they got because they don't have Red Zone. And for some reason, there wasn't a game on CBS. So I get home from baseball, and this was on. It's like, is this it?
Yeah, that's all you get.
my dad was like, yep.
That's all you get.
It's like, damn.
There wasn't a single positive in the whole game. Talk about moral victories. There wasn't
No,
possibly.
yeah, I mean, how could there be? I love your tweet. It was like, at least it's not a moral victory.
Yeah, yeah. At least I get. But yeah, honestly, like
That's your positive.
it
I
is my
guess.
positive because I was able to turn off the game start of the first quarter.
Yeah.
Second drive, I was able to turn off the game. I mean, and they started out like the defense held them to a field goal. I was like, all right, we're looking good. We got a field goal to match. And then it was like pick six, fumble, 6. Mac just like literally just kept giving him the ball. At one point, Mac, it's a 3rd and 2. He runs up to the line of he snaps the ball in shotgun. Ramondre runs out to the 1st-yard line for the hash mark. Mac Jones runs into the offensive line to like do a little shuttle pass to him. And not really a shuttle pass because he goes over his arm. If he did a shuttle pass, it would have actually reached him. He throws it like this. The ball goes 2 feet. 2 feet! And lands in the dirt. He's wide open for a first down. And Mac just tosses away. What really made me mad was like on the side. There's pictures on the sidelines. Like Mac is like smiling as Bailey Zappi is getting into
Oh no.
And Mac takes the responsibility on the chin. I appreciate that from a starting quarterback. He takes like he goes into the press conference and says it's on him. Shit like that. And it just doesn't matter to me anymore, man. I don't want to hear it anymore. I want to see it. And I don't know. I want Malik Cunningham to play.
Yeah,
I'm at that point. Like I am, and this is not hyperbole. This is not. I would rather see him play than watch Mac Jones the rest of the season. It's not worth it to me to watch Mac Jones the rest of the season. Because at his best, I know what he is, and it's a tier below Kirk Cousins. And I just have to accept it. I have to move on. And I think the Patriots should do this. This is a big moment. And I think the Patriots should do the same thing. They should accept Mac Jones will be nothing but a bottom tier Kirk Cousins, and they should freaking trade him to the Bears. Or trade him to the trade him to the Bengals. Mac, give him on the Bengals. Get him as a backup to Joe Burrow. Yeah. I don't know. Get something for him and put in someone who's going to put in a spark because not a single player on this offense has a spark to them. Besides Mario Douglas, who plays 25% of the snaps. I don't know if it's Belichick. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know if he's just cooked. Maybe it was Brady the whole time. Like I think really what the issue is it's not so much of Belichick's a bad coach because it's not true. We know that's not true, and I hate to see his legacy end like this. But I think the real issue is that Bill Belichick needs to look in the mirror and say, I have the defense down. Defense I have nailed. I could do the defense for the next 10 years. I'll be 90 and I can still produce a good defense. But he cannot produce even a formidable offense. Like, it's now been 3 years without Brady, 4 years without Brady. And there hasn't been even that last year with Brady, there wasn't an offense. So
no, yeah, they stunk.
And it's talent on the roster, which is under Bill Belichick, and it's play calling, which last year was technically it was Matt Patricia, but like that's on Bill Belichick. And this year it's Bill O'Brien, which I don't know if I don't see the play calling worse than it was last year. I just see no one open, and I see terrible wide receivers and a bad quarterback. And there's also part of me that thinks like when you look at Baker Mayfield, and maybe we're looking at Baker and we're seeing this resurgence, and it's hell. What are the odds that he's having his best start to a season in what, like 2-3 years, and he's playing with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Boom! Sam, and this is not no dissing our boy Sam. Sam Howell plays with Scary Terry and Jahan Dotson. These are real. Okay, yeah, Dotson has been mid, but Scary Terry's a real player, a real offensive threat, and Brian Robinson is a real running back. There's no real players on this Patriots offense. All right.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, there is not a single.
There's no dudes.
No, the only person on anyone's fantasy team is Stevenson on everyone's bench, and actually Hunter Henry because he catches passes. But That's it. That's it. And
Yeah.
now the defense is just worse because we lost Christian Gonzalez, we lost
Yeah, I saw
Jabril
that.
Peppers,
Sucks.
and we lost Matthew Judon. So if the defense is now depleted, and there'll be some young guys I'll be excited to watch, but I'm not going to be excited to watch the defense anymore. And there's just no point in me watching if Malik Cunningham is not the quarterback.
Fair. I agree.
Luckily for me, I get to watch my my arch nemesis Derek Carr go against my team, and hopefully I get some joy out of that. If we lose to Derek Carr though, like I might have to cancel the podcast. The my only saving grace is that Drew Holiday is a Boston Celtic.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like
I mean, so I was gonna ask you earlier because I was talking about the Giants. Like, where do you go from here? And you gave me like a pretty where do we go from here? It's Malik Cunningham.
Yeah.
Or cancel the podcast. Is the other option.
Yeah, the Patriot. All right, where do we go from here? New England Patriots version. I would find a trade partner for Juju if anyone wants him. I would find a trade partner for Devontae Parker if anyone wants him. I would start Douglas and I would play Booty. I'd basically just play all the young guys. Play all the young guys. See what the defense could keep doing. Like I don't even want to trade for a big wide receiver right now, because I don't think there's a point. I think like just try to find a spark at quarterback or in the offense at some point. Whether it's Cunningham, whether it's Douglas, whether it's getting Mike Gesicki involved. It's just one of the players needs to step up.
Mm.
And honestly, I just think Malik Cunningham is the only thing that makes this offense any sort of fun. I think the Patriots bye week is they get a bye week. It's so annoying when you look at the Google thing because they don't tell us the bye week; they just skip the dates. So I can't
Yeah.
I have to do some math, which if anyone's listening to this pod, they know math is not good for us.
It's week 11. You could just Google Patriots bye week.
There you go, week 11. So after the Colts, especially if they lose to so looking at the stretch before the bye week, I don't even know if they beat the Saints. I don't know if they beat the Raiders. I don't know if they beat any of these teams, man. Besides maybe the Colts. I don't think they let the Colts take them. It's in Germany. I don't think they let the Colts take them. But who knows? And if Mac looks bad in all 6 of these games, Malik better be starting against the Giants on November.
A long time to wait.
I want him to start this week, but I know that's not going to happen. I'm aware that's not going to happen.
Chance.
So they're going to run back Mac next week. And against a decent Saints defense, I think he's probably going to look like shit yet again.
Is it in the Dome?
No, it's in Gillette.
Okay, well, that's good. Although I'm kind of out on the Dome after this.
The Dome is it can't make up its mind this year. Oh man. I also saw this was funny. I saw a bunch of Patriots fans. They see Tom Brady showed a picture of he's watching the football game. Of course he is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, I'm so much more embarrassed now that I know Tom Brady's watching." I was like, "Why are you embarrassed? You're embarrassed that your favorite football team's losing and your Hall of Fame quarterback's watching from home? That's stupid. Don't be whatever. I just thought that was silly. All right, let me see if I missed out any notes. I think I got all of them.
I usually try to calm you down here. I don't know what to say.
There's no point.
Could be worse.
It could be worse.
I'll leave you with that, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Could be Chicago. Could be the Giants. I'd rather be you than the Giants right now.
Yeah, I think the only comparable situation in the league is the New York Giants. Which is not a good situation to be comparing yourself with.
Because it's not.
You have
the Jets are
actually. I'm gonna.
If you take Rodgers out of it.
No. Wait. No, because the Jets have Garrett Wilson. They have something fun, and they have Sauce Gardner, which is also something fun.
Yeah, that's.
Let me.
They have a dude.
Daniel Jones. Just switch Daniel with Mac. Called it a day. Saquon Barkley, a running back that gets a lot of carries and is really hyped, but doesn't get a lot of production. Sounds like Ramondre Stevenson. Darren Waller is Hunter Henry.
We are not comparing Barkley to Vermonter. Also, Barkley's been out.
Yeah, that's true. What I want to see his stats when he was healthy this year. Like, it's still not great. Those
only
are
played, like,
Stevenson
1 game.
numbers. He's played 2, and they're Stevenson numbers. 12 for 51 and 17 for 63. Those are Stevenson numbers.
Okay, yeah.
And then we'll go through just the wide receivers. They're all comparable with each other. Hyatt's the rookie that people want to see more and they don't get enough.
Yep.
Slayton is what's his name? Not Booty, but Bourne. And then everyone else is just everyone else. It's all ass. Now I'm depressed.
Full tier ass.
Yeah, now I'm sad.
You started looking at draft stuff yet?
No, not yet.
And you are not at rock bottom yet.
That's true. I mean,
Sure.
I might as well. Like, I've already seen Caleb Williams stuff. Drake May, Sanders.
You're
Already
not
seen
that
it all.
bad, though.
Are we?
I don't think so. What do I know?
Okay, I know we've done this like
Clearly
1,000
nothing.
times. Now looking at it the rest of the way, winnable games for the New England Patriots. Saints next week. Raiders. Commanders is winnable. No offense. Colts. Giants. Steelers. Broncos. Okay, so there's still. I mean, they could still go 8. They could still win 8 games. But I don't want them to win 8 games. Why would I want them to win 8 games? This is ridiculous. I want them to lose all of them. I want them to start Malik Cunningham. Actually, unless they start Malik Cunningham, then I want them to win the Super Bowl. But just
You don't want them to win the Super Bowl if it's Mac Jones.
no, that's not true. That's not true. I just don't think it's possible. Malik Cunningham on the other way. That we can get behind. And I don't want to see Zappy
People are like,
either.
I will not root for this team to win a Super Bowl if Dan Snyder gets to hold the trophy.
Oh, that was ridiculous. No, I'd let Dan hold 1,000 Super Bowls. No offense. I don't want to see Zappy though either.
Yeah. Well, he's just Mac.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same quarterback. So like, why? I already know. See, these 2 quarterbacks, both of them, I think are decent if they have Baker Mayfield's weapons.
Hmm.
And it's really as simple as
I
that.
think that's
And the
probably true.
Patriots aren't getting that. I'm also
Yep.
really the depression goes with Christian Gonzalez too. He was so
Yeah.
he was so good. He looked so good. Now we won't see him until next. And Judon, we probably won't see either of those guys till next year. Oh well. Hey, I should have known this was coming. You only lose the best player in the NFL of all time, so like. And it's funny, that was like 4 years ago, so I can't even.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's not even an excuse anymore. Yeah. Well. There's gonna be some dark times in New England, and that's okay, I guess. All right. College?
5-0.
Maryland's electric.
Unranked. We're unranked, but that's okay. I don't want any expectations.
Yeah, screw being
This is the
ranked.
big one. Obviously, we got Ohio State this weekend. So this is like are we actually a good team, or have we just been destroying bad teams?
I
So
know.
I am excited. I've got my hopes up a little bit. If it looks bad right away, I'll just be like, all right, whatever. But if this game is close, I'm gonna be into it.
What really does it for me in Maryland, I think it's really turning them around. Is
The uniforms.
the uniforms? Is the script helmet? This script helmet is amazing.
It's been a big battle to get it the last couple of years.
Well, and
to
it's
just
so
make
much
the
better
full-time
than the
uniform.
stupid Maryland flag helmets.
It was.
The Maryland
hideous.
flag helmets are ugly. No matter really how they splice them. And this new
I
one,
don't think anyone really liked them. Like, I don't know who they were pandering to. Like, obviously, everyone in Maryland's obsessed with the flag, but the helmet was just not. It just didn't work.
no, and it definitely doesn't look as clean as the Terps
These are
Scripps
nice.
logo. And they just look clean, and they look electric on the field. Like whenever there's an open
Yeah,
play.
Talia's like offensive player of the week nationally and in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh.
I'm happy for
Finally
them.
getting some attention, which
Yeah,
is
you get
nice.
some
I'm happy for.
I'm pissed off about South
We'll see.
Carolina.
Yeah,
I see all these other
I mean, it was
teams.
Tennessee Super Bowl.
Ugh. Tennessee Super Bowl. That was the lamest quote I think I've ever heard. And I've been, I like, if you've been listening, I've been in on Spencer this whole
Is
year.
it worse than the hot dog?
No, it might not be worse than the hot dog. But that's what this team is. It's a bunch of excuses.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
Is
excuses
that a
over and over
Beamer
again.
thing?
I don't know. It seems like it's been Beamer's motto, like, kind of the whole time. And here's some things. There's two sides to how you can look at this if you're a Gamecocks fan. And first of all, wait, let me talk about the Super Bowl quote before I get into the two sides to look at. The Super Bowl quote is so lame because why is this not our Super Bowl? Why is not every game our Super Bowl? You should never leave a game and go, it's whatever.
Like you're almost admitting that you didn't get up for this game.
Yeah, he's
even though it
literally,
was a
it
on
was a
the
Super
road
Bowl.
at night.
Yeah. In a must-win game. All these
It's
games are
also
must-win.
not their Super Bowl.
No, they
Second ball.
they did care. I'll give them that.
It's
They
not.
cared a lot, but
I'm sure they did.
but it's not their Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is against Georgia coming November 18th, which should have been our Super Bowl last week. Why wasn't that our Super Bowl? Like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Why are we saying these stupid quotes? And I don't know. Like, I didn't expect them to win going into Tennessee. I had some hope, of course, but I didn't expect them to win.
Yeah.
And just to look this bad and kind of have the same problems as last year, where they're doing this horizontal offense when our best offense is clearly vertical. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense of why they're doing it. Our team is not built to go horizontal. We're not built like Georgia. And we're trying to play like Georgia when we're not. And we're trying to play like Georgia when we have a better quarterback than Georgia. So, like, I don't understand it. And back to what I was saying earlier, the two sides to look at it from South Carolina is South Carolina is this is the toughest schedule anyone's seen in college football so far. Anyone has seen. They've had one cupcake game. The other game that they won was another SEC game. They have 3 SEC games coming up. And then 2 more and a Clemson game.
Yeah, it does not get.
No, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. So
You don't play Bama.
No, that's true. But
Something.
yeah, that is something. Hell, Mizzou might beat us. Mizzou's looking good this year.
Mizzou's ranked.
Yeah. So you can look at it with that and say it's really like these are some really tough teams. But when I look at freaking Mizzou ranked at 21, it pisses me off. I know they played South Dakota, Middle Tennessee, and Kansas State and Memphis. So like they really haven't played anyone. But so maybe they're frauds too, but I don't know. Maybe it's a schedule that just makes me expect more from this team and it gets disappointed because I see all these other coaches hired at the same time. The Auburn coach hired at the same time as Shane Beamer. Your Maryland coach was what, a year before?
Was he? He's been around. This is like year 5.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's a couple years before. But
yeah.
I see all these other teams like Missouri and Florida has a different coach and was ranked at some point. And just have this better.
They want to fire him, I think. Like Napier.
Yeah, they want to fire Napier.
So.
Maybe we'll fire the Florida coach again, like we did 2 years ago. That'd be fun. But I just see all these other teams that have been ranked in the program. Even Tennessee, their coach was hired at the same time as Beamer.
Yep.
And it pisses me off because I expect much more out of Beamer, and I love the way he talks and everything, and it just I just hear a lot. I'm tired of excuses and shit like that. So
I don't blame you. But like you got time to turn it around. You know?
Yeah, no, we do have time. This bye week's
Well
very
this
important
year.
though. Bye week's super important. And
Did Nick Harbor have a catch this week?
no. The worst play call of all time though happened with it was a wide receiver screen
Doty.
to Doty. It got on 3rd and 7 and it got a yard.
Yeesh.
No, he's not even out there, man. Like it's not even that he's not getting targets. He's not even out there. He's not even running around.
Yeah, it's nice.
And he's so much bigger than everyone else on the field. It just doesn't make any damn sense.
Maybe he's just fast and he's not
good at football.
Yeah, but I'd
Or he's
rather
just a
see
freshman.
I'd rather see him be fast and not good at football on the field,
Yeah, fair.
right? Like that's all I want to see is these guys on the field messing. I'd rather see them on the field messing up than
Mhm.
never see them at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, that's all I got. Bummer way to end the pod for both for me. Jeez.
That was a depressing pod for you.
Celtics are back. That's all that matters.
I'm just like here to listen, basically.
Celtics are back. That's all that matters. All that matters. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll be back Friday, 4:30. Thank you all for listening.
Playoff baseball tonight.
Yeah, huge
Already
playoff
started.
baseball game. Oh,
Go Phillies.
if you're all listening, if anyone's listening live right now and didn't see it on the Twitter, my roommate made a wise parlay for tonight's Phillies game. Chris, want to
Oh,
hear
you
it?
did?
Yeah,
What was
it's tweeted out on the Wise Guys Twitter, which let me
I didn't
remind-
make this parlay, so it's not a
No,
jinx.
it's sent. It's the author of the parlay is tagged in it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank God.
At the Wise Guys Pod 1, if you aren't following us on Twitter already, and the parlay reads as, Phillies money line, Castellanos over 1.5 home runs, and
Half a home run. Just
half
to
home
hit
run.
one.
Sorry, yeah, a half home run. You're right.
2
And,
home runs would be wild.
and then we have what's Wheeler? Wheeler is your pitcher for over 6.5
Wheeler,
strikes
yeah.
out. You like it?
All right. I hope it hits.
My
Hope it hits.
the author is a Phillies fan, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if that gives you more or less confidence.
I'm the only one who I'm worried about having that power.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, that does it. That was our baseball talk. We'll actually do some recap of some playoff games come
Full
Friday.
update,
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. See everyone at 4:30 there. Don't miss out.